Secret Restaurant Podcast. I will be your host for this journey through space and time. And my name, as you know, is Nate Hoyle. Gather in, one and all. Come closer, everyone. Join me. Join me as we celebrate together the release of Last Holiday, Collected Poems, 2023 to 2026. A volume more courageous than anything that the world has ever seen. Not since the Bible has such a deep meaning. So I suck at talking. I technically posted it yesterday because it takes like up to 72 hours to be approved by Amazon, so that's why I was up a day early. But it's available to order now. And I appreciate everybody who has ordered it so far. So I know several people have, because some people told me, and then also because I can see on Amazon. But just so you know, I can't see who ordered it through Amazon. So if you ordered it that way, unless you told me, I don't know. Or unless I see that you have it, I guess. I was interested in ordering it. It's linked on my website, natehoyle.com. It's linked on my bio for Instagram, at Nate Hoyle. And furthermore, if you're interested in ordering directly from me, I'll be getting my contributor copies tomorrow, probably. So if you want to reach out to me that way, they're $15, and I will mail you one. If you are outside of the United States, it will be more than that. But thank you again. I know a lot of people probably relate to this, but especially with like the arts or like when you have big projects that have a release day, it's like such a huge wave where it's like it's all exciting and then you're all hyped up, and then by the end of the day it's like you sink down into a wallowing hopelessness. So I'm trying not to do that. Or whenever I get like crabby, then someone will reach out to me or like it or something. I'll be like feeling guilty. So I appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. I'm trying to keep my head straight and look at it from the bright side. Yeah, I have some I have some promotional strategies through social media that I'm trying to put together as well. That's fine. I'm not going to complain about it, but it's so weird. Like the things people like on Instagram is like crazy. Like people don't like things from people they know, but they'll like videos of like reels. And then if they do like your post, it's like not usually things that could be seen as beneficial that they like them. Like everybody knows that promotion relies on likes. And so to me, I'm like because of the conspiracy thing in my brain, I'm like, people don't like things because they don't want it to get likes, or they don't want to see you succeed. So I'm trying not to think like that, but there is a lot of truth to it too, unfortunately. So don't do it with me, but if you have friends out there trying to promote themselves, like it is like literally dependent on likes, unfortunately. And so if you're liking like memes instead of things that your friends are working on for a long period of time, it's like, it's kind of fucked up, really. You're kind of fucked up for that, honestly. Maybe you should evaluate yourself. Various networks of socialites are turning against me, teaming up. The various avenues of socialites who all talk amongst each other are all talking shit about me. Probably you are. Fuck you. I do remember one time I was like, I ran into like some people from my hometown, and within a span of like 10 minutes, like I was hearing about all this gossip shit. And I was like, I don't ever want to go back to my hometown. But now here I am. And, gossiping is alive and well in America. I do think that people gossip to maintain trust with people. Like, oh, can you believe this? What this person did that I would never do? Or it would never happen to me? Or no one would ever make it up about me? oh, you can trust me. I got all the what do they say, tea? Yeah, I hate that shit. I hate that shit. And half the time it's like, how do you like hearsay is probably not even true. Like, for me, if I hear gossip about some shit, like, it's like, for me, I don't even really take it seriously. But I feel like a lot of people do, and that's how it spreads so quickly. Or like, there's this other weird thing going on where, like, I feel like people have to be constantly assuring other people that they're like good people. And like, if you don't participate in that, then all of a sudden it's like people start to question your integrity instead of just like thinking about things from a perspective of like non-bias. Like, if you're not continually going out of your way to accommodate people or to like point fingers at other people, then people start to speculate and guess the negative. I'm sure at one point I did participate in all that, and I'm just too tired now. I'm just too tired to go out of my way. You know what's funny though? You know, when people online or whatever use the like buzzword woke and make fun of woke people, like, I do feel like they're talking about me. Ideally, they are making fun of me, even though not necessarily, you know, like, there's the stereotypes of what a woke person acts like and what a woke person looks like and where they live and blah, blah, blah. But I do feel like the sentiment behind it, if someone's making fun of woke people, like, I'm identifying with what they're making fun of. But that being said, like, I'm so tired of like trying to prove to people that like my ideals are like quote unquote woke. Like, I shouldn't have to go outside every day and be like going out of my way to like make people believe that like I'm on their side or some shit. It gets like exhausting. I don't know that my poetry helps. But truthfully, if you look at my poetry, I'm pretty sure everyone can find something that they are upset about in it. Or if you look close enough, they will find reasons to not like me. Isn't that a trick in itself? Is trying to get people to still like you, even though you are pushing in the opposite directions. Know what I mean? I'm going to a show tonight. I talked about it before. But it's this melodic death metal pioneers and giants called In Flames. They've been making music for, honestly, probably over 30 years. It's so funny. I was talking to my mom, and she was like, what was that show? What's that show you're going to go to? Is that band called Inflamed? I was like, Inflamed is a way worse name than, you know, there's all the brutal death metal bands or all the death metal bands. I think Mitch Hedberg has a joke like this, but all the bands are like, you know, Suffocation, Carcass, all these like brutal names. But for some reason, if a band were called Inflamed, that would be way grosser than any of those other names. Yeah, I think Mitch Hedberg is like in the opposite direction where he's talking about death metal bands are all like brutal. I think he says like Obituary. I can't remember the other one. But then he's like, my metal band isn't so serious. We're called Injured. I like that name too, Injured. That would be a good band name, honestly. I would check that band out. I would click on that. I would click on that music video on YouTube. Hang on a second. Hello? Is anybody there? I'll let you know how the concert goes. I've been looking forward to it. When they announced the show at the Rust Belt in East Moline, I bought tickets right away. I think I've seen 3 shows there, unless I'm forgetting some. But I saw Zach Wilde play with his Black Sabbath cover band. Of course, he played with Ozzy. And then I saw Fred Armisen there kind of early on when it opened. I feel like there weren't that many people there, or maybe it filled in after I was there, but I was like really close to the stage, and he was doing his act with like, he had his instruments and like, I think he had like a whiteboard or something, dry erase markers or something. And then the last one was I saw this band that was getting inducted into the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, but it was sad. So the band, they've been a local band since like the 90s maybe. And so obviously they had a repertoire and history in Iowa, so they were getting inducted into the Hall of Fame in Iowa. And so we went to this show for their, they were celebrating it basically, and they played all covers, even though they had originals. And one of the members of the band, so I'm trying to say this without talking about too many things all at once, but old friend of mine, I've known him since he was like 3. He also plays drums in the band I'm in now, and also played drums and stuff I did back in high school, but he's also one of my best friends and stuff. And so the drummer in this Wicked Liz and the Belly Swirls band, that's what they're called, the drummer was his drum teacher all the way back since he was like in middle school or probably junior high. And so that was like kind of one of the reasons that he wanted to go support it. We went there. And then not too long after, the drummer, his name was Greg, he passed away very young. I mean, he was not even 50 yet. And so that was kind of really surprising. And I remember, so I was at the show, and like John went up to say what's up to him afterwards. And I didn't go over there because I didn't really know him as well. But John came back, he was talking about, he was giving him shit because John wasn't playing any live shows. And then, yeah, obviously he like unfortunately passed away. He was super active in the community of music in Davenport too. He had a like a school basically for kids to learn instruments, and then they would even like start bands among their classmates. It was called QC Rock Academy, so that was pretty cool. Everyone was like kind of really shocked when that happened. So rest in peace to him. I went to Iowa City on Mother's Day with my mother and my father, and I hadn't been there. I don't think I've been to Iowa City in almost a year. And then it was because my mom and I had tickets to this musical that was based on Tina Turner. That was really good. The cast was really good singers. And that was the last time I was there. And so then we just went up for the day, checked out Record Collectors at a record store there, which was there when I went to school as well. It's been there a while. I really liked the vibe of the record store. It was definitely like different than, because you know it's a college town. And I like all record stores. I like seeing what they have and the different environments of them. But the Record Collectors in Iowa City definitely got like the college town vibes of, like the stuff displayed is like totally stuff that like I would never have heard of because it's in the circuit of the college students talking and listening. Yeah, I mean, I went to that record store all the time because I started getting records around the time I moved to Iowa City, and I was like a freshman, I think, because my uncle gave me a turntable for free, and it's like an old Yamaha. It's like so sick. It's like from the 70s, super heavy duty. It's got like the wooden paneling on the side. And then he already had put stickers on it, and so I put more stickers on it. But the actual turntable itself, it looks like it's from the 70s, because it is. Hook it up to the stereo, play some freaking jams. But yeah, I went to there, and then of course went to the iconic Prairie Lights bookstore, which is considered by many websites to be one of the greatest bookstores in the world. I had already spent money on 2 records, though, so I didn't get anything at the bookstore. Plus, the books on my dresser right now are reaching close to the ceiling. I got some books I want to talk about today, too, so stick around. But what else did we do? There's a brewery that started in Coralville and then opened a branch or a tap house or something in Iowa City in the Piedmont area. And I had never been to that brewery or the tap house, but I really like their beer. So we went there, sat out on the patio. I think classes end maybe even this week. So there were still students there, and they were all enthusiastic. And the weather was nice, and everybody was joyous. And Yeah, it's funny, man. People always talk about Gen Z doesn't drink anymore. That is definitely not true in Iowa City. It's probably definitely not true in most colleges because kids were already drunk or talking about being hungover or looking like they were getting ready for their Sunday fun day. And then we went to it was a ramen place that's new there, but right now I can't remember the name of it. And then we went home. Oh, we went to John's Grocery too, which is, I know a lot about the, excuse me, I know a lot about the history of Iowa City, mostly through the lens of my parents, because that's where they went to school and that's where they met. And then I was going there since I was a kid, and then I went to school there. But there's a grocery store. It's kind of almost like a very fancy looking corner store, and it's called John's Grocery. So if you go into the groceries part, it's like kind of just aisles and fridges. It's not huge, but you can get what you need there. But then they also have like a ton of like liquor, and their beer section is like crazy. And I used to live by there. That was like the closest grocery store to me when I was a sophomore, in my first ever apartment with 3 roommates. And so I had been there a lot, but it was nice to check it out again. Having the nostalgia flow through your bones. Speaking of nostalgia, though, they had a stack of boxes and bottles, like up to my eye level, of that Hawkeye vodka. Most people probably don't know about Hawkeye vodka, but if you're from the Midwest, or particularly from Iowa or Iowa City, you've drank Hawkeye vodka, and everyone has the same agreement that it's disgusting. People would pour it in like anything to make it like more drinkable. It basically tastes like rubbing alcohol, but it was like back in the day. I think it was like $12 for a handle. It was basically just buying a jug of moonshine, but like people bought it all the time just because of the price. Oh my God, it was so disgusting. I think that was why I quit drinking vodka. Honestly, like I'll have it now, like if someone offers me it or if it's like on the occasion. I don't know. I don't really ever order it or have any interest in drinking it, but I honestly feel like that the reason for my dismissal of vodka in general is because of Hawkeye vodka. And if people are from the Iowa City area or I went to college with them, oh, they know what I'm talking about. People used to just get one of those like Gatorade coolers and take the handle and then just be like pouring the handle in and then just put anything else that they could like manage to mask the flavor of it. Like Gatorade or like Sprite or like Gatorade and Sprite. And that is why by the evening people were stumbling through the streets. It was the glory days. It was so full of glory, you guys. You guys do not understand how much glory was taking place in Iowa City from 2011 to 2015. It would have shocked you. Speaking of Iowa City, though, and the literary capital that it is, can you say, is there more than one capital? Literary city of great literary accomplishment. I've been reading some short stories by this writer named Raymond Carver, who I don't think I've talked to him. Raymond? I don't think I've talked about him yet, except that he's in that Dennis Johnson biography, and they would be drinking in Iowa City at places like the Mill and the Deadwood, and places that are kind of historically iconic to drunkards. But yeah, I shared Raymond Carver, just to get a backstory on him. He was a poet and short story writer. He never wrote any novels, which is interesting, or he never published any. I don't think he wrote any either, which almost creates a greater emphasis on his short stories that there aren't any novels, I think. But his short stories are like super influential. I mean, when I talk to writers or listen to writers, seems like so many people today, Raymond Carver's on their list of inspiration, list of like imitations. And I think it makes sense because his overall style it feels, even though his books were published in the 70s and 80s, they still feel very, language-wise, they still feel relevant to like the styles of today. And there are people who probably have absorbed his work. And if you're one of those people, I might say things that make me sound like a dummy. But so just for people who haven't read him, reversely, I can think of two film adaptations that one you've probably definitely heard about, if not seen. The other one is like a little bit lesser known. But so the movie Birdman with Michael Keaton, the stage play that they're putting on in that movie is an adaptation of a Raymond Carver story called What We Talk About When We Talk About Love. What we talk about, Birdman. What we talk about when we talk about love. And so the stage play that he's performing in is an adaptation of Raymond Carver. So that's like kind of a loose adaptation, I guess. And then secondly, there was a movie starring Will Ferrell. It was kind of a comedic tragedy titled Everything Must Go. And that one was based on another short story of his. Basically, like, the story is like the dude is, he's got all this stuff in his front lawn, but we don't know why. And then he's just like sitting out there, and then some young people walk by and they shop. They think it's like a yard sale or whatever, they shop. And then, like, I don't know, he puts like a record on, they start like dancing. All of his stories are very, like, they don't explain themselves. Like, they leave it up to you to interpret them. And so the movie that was adapted from that, it went more into the backstory about how he kind of got kicked out of his house and all his stuff was in the lawn. And then it goes into his story that way. But yeah, I've read Raymond Carver pretty much since undergrad, but I haven't read all of his books. I think the only ones I have read before this were his kind of collected in news stories, which is quote unquote greatest hits. And so I've read a lot of the ones in the other collections. And then a while back I read Will You Please Be Quiet Please, which was his middle collection. And so now I picked up a copy of his final one published in America while he was living. What is it called? Dang it. It's called Cathedral. And I bought it, and then I posted a picture of it on Instagram because the cover is really cool. The cover is like, it's almost like a painting, and a dude's just like sitting at his like dining room table, and he's got like a whiskey and a pack of cigarettes, and he's like smoking, and the TV's on, and it's very like dreary, but also very beautiful. And I like the cover, and so I posted it, and then that was probably of my stories. I don't know if I've had so many people respond to a story of mine, like an Instagram story, as that one, which just proves how many people have been moved by his work or inspired by his work. I've just been reading basically one story a night because I don't want to read more than one, because that's kind of the type of stories they are. It's like you always get to the last page and then you're like reflecting on it. So I've probably read about half the book. And there are definitely some that are more memorable than others. I think the ones that kind of stand out to me more are the ones that the narrative goes in like different directions from the beginning to the end. It's like the characters are kind of in a different place. And so that included the first story in the collection, which was called Feathers. And that one was about, it was like this man and a woman who are married. They go over to one of his coworkers' houses who are married, and they had a newborn baby. And they basically just go over there and then come back, but it's like the psychology of the characters is like what's most important. And then one of the famous ones that people said that they liked it, and then it was actually, I bought a used copy, so the story was actually had a check by it. But that one is called A Small, what is it called? A Small Good Thing. And that one it's like way more tragic. It deals with death, and it deals with, it would be a tough one to read, but that one is definitely like one of the more famous ones. But yeah, I'm liking it. I feel like just reading one story a night. These stories in general also, like I said, they're kind of, I wouldn't call them minimalism, but like the language of them is very accessible. It's like almost, It's almost like whether he's writing in first or third person, the story itself is so conversational that like someone who's like a traditionalist in like grammar and in writing sentences might be hypercritical of it, because he lets kind of the voices, either of the character or his own writing voice, kind of take over in ways that aren't kind of natural to writing on a page, but they would be natural to someone who's like speaking it, if that makes sense. But there's, I mean, each story you could probably read it between 15 minutes and a half hour. Then just put it down and try to sleep while reflecting upon whatever tangle of meaning you have drawn from it. All right, that's it. Once again, Last Holiday. Available now, my collected poems written from 2023 to 2026. 270 pages of poetry, one of which includes Footstep Valley, which had an individual release. So that means about 200 of the pages might just be brand new to you. You can find it at natehoyle.com if you click on Buy a Book. You can search it on Amazon, although you might need to click on my author page because I don't think it has been out long enough to go to the main search engine. And you can reach out to me if you want to buy one. I'll be getting copies tomorrow. Stay positive out there, guys. Sorry about all that shit earlier. It's probably my fault, right? All right, goodbye.